Hello, hello, hello. Come on in, come on in, come on in. I hope that y'all are well. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly. I'm going to send this out real quick. Happy Feminine Friday. Happy Feminine Friday. Come on in, come on in, come on in. I hope that y'all are well. And put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly. And also let me know where you're watching from. All right, as I send this out. Let's see. All right. Hey, Shamika girl, where are you watching from today? Today we're talking about a mistake I made. Well, not a mistake. That's not true. That's not true at all, actually. Hey, Baton Rouge. I'm going to talk about how business owners tend to leave a lot of money on the table. And so I'm going to talk about how I made a decision and I ended up leaving like $40,000 on the table. And I'm going to support you in not doing the same thing, okay? I have made sometimes, there have been times where, like, I remember my first year of hitting 6 figures, I made like a $25,000 mistake. And I remember last year as well, leaving like $40,000 on the table. And I'm going to tell you, if I had to do it again to learn what I learned, I would do it again. I would leave the $40,000 literally on the table. And I know for some people that may sound like, what? And it's like, yeah. I made a decision that cost me about $40,000. And if I had to do that again, I would definitely do it again because it taught me so much. And I'm going to teach you what I learned in that experience so you do not make a $40,000 mistake in your business, or as you're continuing to scale and grow, that you don't start making decisions in your business that cost you 5 figures, okay? So for those who don't know who I am, y'all see me playing my little bangs that I need to cut shorter. My name is Elle Antoinette. I'm a mentor to women of wealth and influence, and what I do specifically is I support my amazing clients who are high-performing women. I support them in leading, earning, and attracting from energetic alignment, which requires them to regulate their emotions first, requires them to reclaim their powers, restore their power second, okay? So with the work I do, I support my clients in being able to lead, earn, and attract from energetic alignments. I have had clients who come in women who come to work with me have 3 results. Some of them get all 3. Some of them get maybe 1, like 2, but all of them at least get at least 1 when they leave me, okay? So women that come to work with me make more money. Women that come to work with me tend to get healthier. Women who come to work with me tend to attract better partnerships, relationships, and friendships, okay? So, and the reason why clients are able to do that because they're learning how to lead, earn, and attract from energetic alignment. So once you learn how you operate, it's easy for you to manifest and sustain the things that you are calling into your experience. So I'm going to talk about today, like I said, how I basically lost $40,000 in the process of that, what I learned, and how I was going to support you in not making the same type of decisions that I made, okay? Because when I really thought about it, the decisions that I made in regard to leaving the $40,000 on the table, it was so silly. It was internal things, and I'll just really kind of dig real deep into it. But anyway, before I get into that, the work that we do with my clients is that we support them in helping them rebuild their nervous systems, their offers, and their influence from a place of softness, sovereignty, and strategic power, which is basically your feminine design. So if you understand femininity, you understand your feminine design, right? Then you understand the way that you operate, and you can articulate what it is that you need, and you are more susceptible to receiving the things that you really need and the things you truly desire. A lot of women tend to support a lot of people, but they tend not to be supported, and they don't realize why. And a lot of it is because you're not making yourself a priority. It's not very clear that you are at the top of your list. When you put yourself at the top of your list, everything else has to fall in alignment with that frequency, or everything else is going to fall off, okay? So let's get ready to get into it. So I'm gonna just tell you right now, this is high lovey. This is going to offend the hustle crowd, and it's fine. So if you call yourself a hustler, a female hustler, whatever the case may be, this is going to probably offend you that I left $40,000 on the table. But it doesn't offend me. I'm actually happy that I left that $40,000 on the table because I learned a very vital lesson. And if you are a person who has hit six figures in your business, or you want to hit six figures in your business, this is something for you to really pay attention to because it could easily happen to anyone. All right. So yeah, $40,000 is a lot. You hear it, it sounds like a lot of money. It is a lot of money if you've never touched that money, right? So on your hand. So it can sound like it's a lot, and it was a hit. I would have to say in business, I've made 2 total mistakes, and those mistakes together cost me about $65,000. So trust me when I tell you, I'm going to tell you this so you don't make these mistakes, okay? So you'll be able to keep this money because, girl. So anywho, like I said, this is going to offend the hustle crowd, and it's totally fine. Hustle by definition means to swindle. To swindle means to steal. The hustle steals your time, your energy, and your attention by making you feel like it's paying you money when it's really cheap. It's cheap labor, okay? So I got into a space of hustle mode last year, and I caught myself, and it caused me to leave about $40,000 on the table because I refused to sell something that didn't honor my nervous system or my calling. That's literally how I lost the $40,000. Okay, so if you're here and you already know you've outgrown, the low stages of how you've been operating, or you're not operating to the fullness of what you know you need to be operating from, or you've been leading from pressure, you're meant to move from power, and I'm going to support you in that today, okay? So I'm going to tell a little bit of my business, because y'all know I talk about my clients, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about my business and my mistakes, because I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect. Everything I give you is going to come from scripture, science, and psychology, so you can go and look these things up for yourself as well, okay? So let's get into it. I wasn't broke when I left the $40,000 on the table. I wasn't desperate. I was literally just disconnected. That was the biggest thing. I was really disconnected. Every accessible offer I made, truthfully, I was lowballing. I hope I don't get emotional. I was lowballing the Most High, and I was lowballing myself, right? And what I mean by that is I was shrinking my assignment into bite-sized comfort, for people who were never going to do the work anyway. Because I had this thing that I didn't want to leave people behind, right? So I didn't want to leave people behind, and I wanted to make sure everyone was included, and, everyone was focusing on getting, trying to get more money. And so I would be creating things and low tier offers at lower prices and different things like that, trying to, call people in and call people up. But I was really shrinking myself. Okay, hi, my love. I was really, really shrinking myself because God had called me for bigger. And I was so focused on not listening to the fact that, hey, I've called you for this, and you need to speak about this, and you need to get over your fear of leaving people behind, because the ark is already closed. And you're not in order. And you are constantly trying to create, which is why you're becoming exhausted, which is why you're becoming tired, which is why the money is not doing exactly what it should be doing. It's because you're in a space right now where you're trying to help people. See, I thought I was selling from a wound of wanting to be needed by people, because I had grown so fast. Hey, my love, I had grown so fast in my business. I had been working so long. It was one of those things I was working in my business, and when I really got in full alignment, what ended up happening was the money just started coming That's why I teach attracting, earning, and leading from energetic alignment, because once you get in alignment, you could be doing something for 10 years, but the minute you get in the right space to do it, it's like everything just starts coming like this. So everything started just kind of coming like this for me, and it was coming really, really, really a lot. And a lot of people were attached to me and were depending on me and were relying on me and were needing me, right? And so, hey, lovey. And so because of that, I started to sell from the wound of, well, they need me. Well, they need me. And I need to create something in this space to be able to support them because they need me. Okay, yeah, I may have mastered this level, but I could teach them this level, even though it's not necessarily challenging me and calling me up the way I'm supposed to be being called up. I'm not really fully being obedient. But I'm still helping people, right? Wrong. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Because here's the thing. I was marketing from a space of survival and not from the Holy Spirit, and that was a problem. I was marketing from the space of, okay, these people need this because all of this stuff was coming, because I was having all of these visions and all this stuff was coming, and me seeing the things that are, coming and that have come into fruition. I'm like, okay, we need to gather as many people. And it's like, Nobody told you to go and gather all of the people. That was never your assignment. Checkpoint. Checkpoint. That was never your assignment to gather all the people. Who told you that? Your assignment was to be present and to be in position so the right people would see you and would resonate, and then they would invest because they have been praying for the solution that you have. But because you're too busy focusing on the back, because you're too busy trying to reach back, feeling like that is noble, you are failing in your assignment. And let me show you how you left $40,000 on the table that I was willingly wanting to give you, but you wouldn't even show up to take it because you're too busy reaching back. Okay? Here's the truth. I was selling from urgency, not stewardship. I was performing as helpful when God was calling me to be holy in the experience. I was very clear of my power and, my impact on other people, but I was not very protective. I knew how to guard my heart, but I didn't really know how to protect my love. And my love is a superpower, and I am naturally a woman that is very loving. So my love, when I love people, people benefit from 4 key things. And I had to understand the superpower of my love to understand how to protect it. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. My love is my superpower because when I love you, you get to benefit from that love. How do you benefit from that love? You benefit from my essence. You benefit from my presence. You benefit from my spiritual gifts. You benefit from my insight. All of those things will put you in position to transform your entire life. So I have to be protective of my love. And I was not very protective of my love. I guarded my heart pretty well. Thank you, my love, for these likes and these follows. I knew how to do that, but I didn't really know how to guard my love because I have such a love for people. But don't allow your love for people to position you for disobedience, because you'll be like me, leaving $40,000 on the table. Okay? If you are a woman of depth and your strategy, if you're a woman of depth in general and you're out here working in business, especially online, your strategy literally has to match the depth of who you are. It has to match your anointing, if that makes sense. Okay? And yet most people, and I've been there, it's no judgment, most women are building funnels, right, for survival instead of rhythm. Let me show you exactly what I did specifically to detox from fast money and recalibrated my business for strictly legacy. Okay? Fast money feels good. Fast money seems to come very quickly, right? But fast money ain't always good money. And I was having this conversation with someone. Every time there's an elevation in the area of convenience, there's always some missteps in the process. And I'll say this for an example. If you order your groceries online, right, through Instacart or DoorDash or whatever the case may be, right, it's very convenient for them to drop your groceries off at your door. But what is inconvenient and what the missteps are is that you like to pick out your fruit a certain kind of way. And so when they go and they pick out your fruit, they're not doing it how you doing it. They're not checking for the things that you're checking for. So yes, it's convenient for them to drop these groceries off to you, but what's not convenient is getting there and realizing that your fruit is rotten because they didn't check the entire bag. So a lot of times we don't realize in those fast or convenient experiences there are missteps, much like fast food. The missteps And the lack of quality of fast food comes from it being convenient, which means the time is not being put into it to really bake or to really be able to cook and really be able to truly create something that is going to be sustainable, something that is going to be nutrient dense for your body. So what you miss from that convenience of that fast food is the quality food that your body needs to thrive. Do you understand that there is a quote that says, and thank you so much for these gifts, these likes, and these comments. There's a quote that says that you catch and cure cancer every day you wake up. But see, illness comes into play. One aspect of illness comes into play because the organs are not strong enough to fight. Well, why are the organs not strong enough to fight? Because you chose the convenience of fast food over quality food, not understanding that all food has a program, and your body literally is an internal universe that runs on a program. So when you eat carrots, it is going to send the beta carotene from the carrots to nourish your liver, and your liver is what sends nourishing blood to your eyes so that you can see. This is why when you cut a carrot, what does it look like? An eye. Okay? When you look at certain things like a walnut, if you look at it for what does it look like? Brain. Food has a program. So a lot of times when we are seeking convenience, fast money, if you are a person who sells on the street, fast money, convenience. But in that convenience, what you need to basically pay attention to is basically you're going to be paranoid the entire time while you're trying to do that on the street. Because fast money can equal long time behind some bars. So again, when you think about fast money, you really need to ask yourself and start thinking, what are the things that are missing? What's the quality that's missing if this money is coming so fast? And what was happening with me, because I was creating the way that I was creating, consistently creating. I'm creating great products, I'm creating great services, and all of it is absolutely amazing, right? But what I'm seeing happening is that I'm not catching the gap that I really need to be catching because I'm too busy trying to convince people you need to get out here and get yourself together. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. You don't have time to convince your ideal client. Your ideal client is ready to pay you. If you got to host free class after free class or low pay tiering classes just to get people into your space, if that's the only way you feel like that's the way you're going to be able to thrive, you're going to burn yourself out. Because you are chasing fast cash, you are chasing cash injections instead of being in position to catch big checks. It is a lot easier to close a $20,000 deal versus it is trying to close a $200 deal. The people who are sitting at $200 that are haggling you about $200 when there's somebody who will pay you immediately. I had a young lady yesterday. Let me tell you, let me show you what not playing looks like. It's a young lady who comes on the lives a lot, and I want to say her name's like NY Bestie something. So she always comes on all the time. She told me, and she said this, and I don't know if she's on here now, but she said that she was like, I just manifested a new position, and I am coming to work with you. She said this a couple of weeks ago. I want to say it was like a month ago, because I'm going to bring this conversation up with her when we have our one-on-one. So yesterday she sent me a message and she said, hey Elle, do you still have the spot available for the Muse Activator? And I was like, yeah, I actually only have one more spot left because I only had one spot. All five of my spots have been filled. I'm considering opening up for 2 more people, but that's only because I have one person in mind and the other person, if they just come, they just come. But she inboxed me yesterday, was like, hey, do you still have your spot up? And I was like, yeah, I have actually one spot available. Would you like it? Would you like the link for it? You know, I can send it to you. And she was like, absolutely. I would like the link to start. I want to go ahead and start the process today. People who want to invest in you, and you all know the Muse Activator at that price point at the time was $9.97. When people want to pay, they want to pay. And I'm not talking about $9, I'm talking about $997. When people want to pay, they want to pay. You don't have to convince people to pay. She said, I just manifested a new, she said, it started off with her saying, I'm going to work with you. I remember her being in these lives saying, I'm going to work with you. And then I also remember her coming in the live and saying, I manifested a new position and I'm coming to work with you. And yesterday she sent me a message and she immediately came. You don't have to convince your people. You don't have to convince your people. You just have to show up and be in position, being ready to receive. And when they are ready and when they're going to invest. especially if they're seeing their life shift and change. And she was seeing things happen for her simply just by being in the lives. So much so to where she was like, I gotta be in the Muse Activator. And I'm telling y'all, the women that's in the Muse Activator, this go round. Child. Oof. This is going to be something. The results that are gonna come from here, I'm ready for it because these women are all hungry. We got I have women in this container who have worked with Grammy award winning artists who are now trying to step Grammy award winning artists who are now trying to step out into their space. You know, women who are making six figures, who are wanting to transition into like going from 100K to 500K. Women who want to transition into really supporting, you know, themselves and creating structure in their businesses so that they can really flourish in their femininity. Women who want to understand the realness of pricing and energetics so that they can stand in the fullness of their value. It's going to be amazing. Amazing community. I'm super excited about it. And one of the things about me, I'm very exclusive, so I only work with a certain amount of people during a certain time. I don't like to overload myself. So at max in this program, I would take 7, and I have 5 now. And it's if, like I said, I got one. I'm actually need to hit her up and see if she wants that spot because she's been doing some great work, and I'm gonna see if she still needs the accountability. But if anybody else is interested in that spot, DM me the word Muse because I can tell you that the price point is not going to be the price point anymore. It is going up to $1,500. So if you want that last spot, child, DM me. But anywho, so before we get into that, let's go ahead and give you what I did to detox from fast money. Thank you so much. I'll praise to the Most High, and thank you for being here. I'm gonna show you exactly what I did, how I detoxed it from fast money and recalibrated my business for legacy. It's a 3-step rhythm map that I like to call it, that keeps my nervous system safe and my bank account at overflow. So I'm no longer in a space where I'm trying to reach back and be like, oh my God, y'all need to go ahead and do this because this is happening. No, I am only speaking the language of the women who can hear. I am only speaking the language of women who can hear, because it tells you in scripture, you know, in order for you to be a doer, you must be a hearer. And one of the most powerful things that you can have right now in this life in 2025 is your ability to be able to hear spiritually. Because if you can hear spiritually, then you have the opportunity to be able to do. But if you can't even hear because it's so noisy in your mind, it's so noisy in your heart, it's so noisy in your soul, then you're not going to be able to get the downloads that you need so that you can execute. And I'm telling you, I don't know if y'all are paying attention to what is going on in the world, but keep your eyes on what's happening over there. I'm trying to tell you something without telling you something. Keep your eyes on what is going on around here. Okay? And it's not what you think. Anything that is trying to entertain you, you need to remember that is the circus. The things that's getting light coverage, that's not really being tapped on, those are the things you really need to be paying attention to. There's a lot happening outside of where you live. And you need to pay attention. When people start making certain moves and from certain countries, you need to pay attention. Okay? So you don't have time to be trying to reach back and get people and, girl, come on, we doing this. All that's over with. That is so over with. All of it. And I mean, this whole idea, like you trying to bring everybody with you, let me tell y'all something. Stop trying to bring people up to the next level that they are not ready for, because what is going to happen is they are going to sabotage your next level. People who can't handle love and they've never had love, they sabotage the experience. People who have never had money, they sabotage the experience when they get the money. Stop dragging people up. You can't drag nobody up. Some of y'all gonna have to leave people where they at, and I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. I told y'all in the beginning of this year, you were going to find out who the savages were in your community. And you need to cut the clout chasers that are not replenishing and pouring back into your space. Or you're going to find yourself missing out on things, missing out on money, missing out on opportunity because, okay, you are trying to hold on to everyone and everything and everyone else. I'm telling you, it cost me $40,000. I'm telling you, I left it on the table. I left it on the table without even realizing it. But when I realized how much money I left on the table, because of me trying to reach back, and I weighed the difference between me reaching back, the benefits of me reaching back, and how many people that I actually reached back for that actually completed the process, it hurt me more than it helped me. It hurt me more than it helped me. Some of you are afraid to come up because you're scared that you're going to be alone at the next level, not realizing that when you go to the next level, there are people who are waiting for you. This is why it tells you in scripture, like, man, there is not a pain in the world that's going to compare to the joy that comes when you have to make certain hard decisions. Yes, there's going to be pain, but the joy that comes from it, you really got to grasp that understanding. All that reaching back, all that trying to convince people, all that trying to bring everybody with you, stop. Learn to discern and put the proper people in position, starting with yourself. Starting with yourself. If you are an expert, you need to stop acting like you a novice and stop acting like you small. Cut it out. Dragging people up is heavy, and we're like, yes, literally learning this lesson now. I feel like I've been separated from people I never thought I'd be apart from. Girl, me too, girl. And it's painful. It's a painful experience when you are realizing that you've been pouring into a cup with holes in it, or you've been pouring into a cup that has a big hole in it that's been poured into another cup taken from you. And here you are thinking that you are just solely giving. I'm gonna give you an activity that I did for myself, and I'm gonna give you this for free. It's one of the most powerful things that I realized, and I think I talked about this a little bit. I talked a little bit earlier about how love is my absolute superpower, and why love is my absolute superpower. But I'm gonna break down how I came into that, because I need you to be clear on your superpower so you know how to protect yourself. I did this activity with my client this morning at 8:30. Get comfortable. You just enter into a slick coaching session for free, and I'm going to give it to you with this question. So hear me out. Listen, I'm not going to repeat it. If you ain't listening, you missed it. I don't care. Okay? Because I rarely do this. So, yes, it is so painful. It's so painful. I want you to think about the 3 things, and you're welcome to put them in the chat if you like, and you don't have to if you don't want to. But what are 3 things that people come to you for? So this is how I discovered that love was a superpower, and I wasn't doing a really great job at guarding my love, right? So I began to realize that people come to me, number one, for insight, right? That's the first reason anybody, my friends, family, most people always come to me to balance their scales because they know I'm not biased. So if you tell me something, I want to hear what you did. I want to hear what the other party did. I need to be able to fully hear it. I'm about to talk to God, and then I'm going to run it back to you. So people come to me a bit to balance their scales, right? So I love that. Emotional support, advise, and vent, okay? So mine is insight, support, and love. People come to me for insight, support, and love. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. I never realized, and then it said, I was like, okay, circle the one you never thought was a superpower. Circle one out of the 3 that you just said. If you were to circle one, which one would you circle because you never recognized it as a power or as a tool or as a superpower? When I wrote down mine, I realized I circled love because I never realized my love was a superpower. I felt like my insight was a superpower because it was coming from the Most High. I felt like my ability to be able to support was, me coming from the type of person that I am, right? But my love, I just thought that was something that everybody just did. It was just natural. It was just this, it was that. But the reality of the situation, my love was a superpower. Why? Because I started to assess how my love has transformed the people in my life. So then I started to break down exactly, what is it about my love that transforms and that makes it so powerful? Because when I love you, you get access to my essence, and my essence is elevating. Because if I love you, you get my presence, and being in my presence is uplifting. It's vibrational. I set the scale, okay? Because when I love you, you get my insight automatically whenever you need it. Because when I love you, you get access to my spiritual gifts. You can't have them, but you get access to that. That combination is powerful. Essence, okay? Presence, insight, and spiritual gifts, those things are life-changing. How dare I not take that, or how dare I take that so lightly? How dare I take that so lightly? See, you can guard your heart above everything else and still not be guarding your love. I'm a living example. Okay? So I want you to think about the 3 things that people come to you for, and think about the one thing that you never claimed as a power. And that is the one thing that you need to guard like your life depends on it, because it does. Truthfully, you need to guard yourself in all 3 of those areas. You need to have boundaries around all 3 of those areas. Why? Because people are always going to be pulling on you. That is going to either, those experiences when you're providing emotional support, right? And insight, and let's just say it was emotional support, insight, and spiritual gifts. If you are consistently giving that out to people every time that they come to you, and that you have no bounds, you have no threshold as a giver, that means that you are going to position yourself to be draining, to be drained. And people have most humans, thank you, my love, most humans who don't have people in their life to ground them don't know how to handle the energy of you coming in and being so supportive. So naturally they become sucking it every dry, sucking it dry, a straw, just pulling from your energy. And you're just thinking, oh, I'm just being myself. Oh, I'm just this. Oh, I'm just that. Absolutely not. You are to guard those things. Because those things provide, they elevate, they help people recalibrate. You have to protect that. Those are aspects of self. And a lot of us take for granted what people call, the things that we naturally have within ourselves. I want you, and if you don't know the 3 things that people come to you for, ask the top 3 people that's always on your phone, what makes you call me? Like, what is it about me that makes you call me for whatever? Or what would you say you call me for? And really listen to people. Really listen to how they view you, because a lot of you don't know how people view you. And some of you need to hear that you a do-girl. That's the only reason they like you. Some of you need to hear that the only reason this person likes you is because of what you do for them and how you make them feel, not because of who you are. Because what's going to happen if you can't do those things, or you stop doing those things? You need to be paying attention to the people around you. Because here's the thing that I'm also going to flip it so you can understand. Yes, people come to me for insight. Yes, people come to me for support. Yes, people come to me for love. But also understand that everyone that comes to me for those things, I can equally go to them for those very same things. I open the doors of that type of energy for people who can only offer me the same thing, the law of reciprocity. See, this is how I don't get burned out by people. What I understand about my energy as a woman, as Elle Antoinette, myself, my unique imprint, my unique impact on people, is that when you're in my space, I'm going to feel whatever it is that you have going on. And I'm going to be what is necessary and what is needed in that space according to my ability. And I'm only able to do that if I know that we are both operating from the space of the law of reciprocity. It tells you in scripture that you will know people by their fruit. What I understand about my energy is that my energy is much like life support. Yep, life support, you plug in and plug out. Absolutely, that's what I'm talking about. Me, I am her, she is me. Okay? So because I understand that what I give to people is life-supporting energy, I breathe life into individuals. The minute that a person is brought into life and they decide that they want to take advantage of the fact that I plugged up, to be able to support them. The minute that they feel like they don't want to value the support that I am providing, guess what I'm going to do? Snatch that plug out, and I ain't going to never plug it again, because who going to raise the dead? Because I'm not. See, some of y'all need to understand how to pull the plug, and you don't pull the plug because you don't understand the value of what it is that you're offering. You think you're just being cool. Hell no, absolutely not. Pull the plug. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. Pull the plug. Some of y'all are out here giving life support to people that y'all should have let flatline a long time ago. Baby, I'm quick to let you flatline. Play with me. Violate a principle with me. Betray me. We ain't even going to talk about it. Because one thing about me, I let the rules be known up front before you even get here. Don't take advantage of what's going on over here, baby. Because I would hate to not talk to you ever again. Please don't get it confused. I am really good with shaking the dust. I am really good with shaking the dust. Like the Most High says, I be quick. Oh, okay, I can shake the dust with them. Oh, bet. I've been wanting to do that anyway. Forgiveness does not equal reconciliation. I don't know who told y'all that, baby. I will forgive you now and never talk to you again. Because if you betray me to the point to where I have to do mental gymnastics to figure out when you're going to do it again, that's a disruption to my peace, and you can't stay. You ain't staying. The end. And I don't care how nobody feel about it. And I don't care who you are. Thank you, my love, for these gifts, these likes, and these comments. You don't get to come into my space and have the power to disrupt my peace. When peace is a spiritual fruit, it is my responsibility. So it is my choice to make sure to declare peace. And if I declare peace means getting rid of you, unplugging you, and letting you flatline, I will let the dead rest in peace. You don't know me. And some of y'all need to let people rest in peace. For real. Because you ain't got no peace. So let them rest in peace. Pull the plug, sweetheart. Oh, if I pull the plug, they're going to do this. Dude, let them do it. Let them do it. Because most people like to talk about what they're going to do because they want dopamine hits in the form of support or amens or high fives or encouragement or inspiration or whatever the case may be. People who actually going to do that, you're going to see their fruit. They're not going to waste no time. And that's what you need to pay attention to. Stop wasting your time with people when you see no fruit. Or when you see rotten fruit. When you see rotten fruit, you need to believe that it's bad seeds. Somebody that's always coming into your space telling you how somebody's always doing something to them. Like I said, I've never seen a victim not be a bully first. I ain't never seen a constant victim not be a bully first. Because if you're consistently being picked on, consistently being gotten over on, consistently all these things, then you are bullying yourself. Because how do you keep allowing yourself to stay in experiences that long? The first time you play with me, it's out. And see, some people be like, oh, they're so harsh. Baby, I don't care. Let me tell you something. Certain lessons you don't have to learn twice. Certain lessons you don't have to learn twice. Certain lessons you don't have to learn once if you pay attention. Certain lessons you don't have to learn once if you simply just pay attention. But trying to be everything for everyone and do everything for everybody and be all open and not have boundaries, it's going to impact your bank account. It's gonna impact your bank account. It's going to position you like it positioned me, trying to reach back. Okay, let me help them. Oh my God, they got a story. Let me do this. Let me do that. $40,000 down the hole. I'm like, whoa. How you lose $40,000? I had to ask myself, how you lose $40,000? I had to sit. So I'm like, how you lose $40,000? I said, the last time you made a mistake, because I made a $25,000 mistake some years back. I eat that was a glitch. This one right here was purely piss poor management of my energetics, because I'm concerned with someone who's not even showing current fruit in their own life, so let alone showing that they're going to produce future fruit. Baby, I don't do potential in men, so I show, why are you doing it with the women? Thank you, my love, for these gifts. And he's like, why are you trying to work, hey love, why are you trying to work with women in their potential when they don't even see their own value? Stop talking to them. Stop talking to the ones who all they focusing on is men and their bank accounts are completely dry. Stop talking to them. Their priorities out of the way. Talk to the ones who understand that they were called here for more. Talk to the ones who are serious and who have results. Talk to the ones who actually got some fruit. They just may need a little bit of organizing of their gardens, but they got the fruit. They got the flowers. They just need a little organization. They need you for that. Help them lay the foundation for that. But stop trying to beg people who don't want to do nothing different to change their life. Women and men included. Because until humans decide to rise above their carnal nature and their fleshy nature, they're going to be sitting in the same spot. Which is why you see 80-year-old people, 90-year-old people still doing the same foolishness. You like, you ain't tired. You almost, you ain't you about to check out? You not tired of that? But no, they don't be tired of it. And what you have to realize as a woman, you are either going to get bitter or you're going to get better. You're either going to continue to live a life to magnetize wealth, or you're going to live a life to magnetize monstrosities of a mess into your life experience. Women only get bitter or better, baby. And you have got to figure out which one you're going to be in. But if you keep trying to reach back and save everybody, if you keep trying to reach back and help everybody and do this in your business and let me lower this price, and I know people ain't got no money, get out them folks' pocket. Your client always got money to pay you. Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. Your client always has money to pay you. I closed 5 clients in the last 8 days. Your client always have your money. You are not talking to the right person. You are begging somebody to support you that is not even interested in what you got going on. Make it make sense. We have to stop doing business in a way to where you're trying to save everybody. People have taken the generational cycle breaker and the Black Girl Magic and the whole little movements they do the hustle movement to make y'all really think that you're coming to a space and you're really changing lives when you're really burdening your own life. You're stressing your own self out. You're exhausting your own self trying to put a coat on your back that really wasn't even for you. Focus on prioritizing yourself and your well-being so that you can lay the foundation and so you can really enjoy the fruit of your labor. And the people who are assigned to you, attached, to you, they can enjoy the fruit of your labor. But you doing all this extra, you're going to lose money. You're going to lose opportunity. You're going to lose time. When I did the math and realized I lost $40,000, I said, whoa, $25,000, I was okay. I laughed about it a little bit. That one hit my feelings. That 40 hit my, that's too close. That's too close. That's too close. That's too close with me. Because I'm sitting like $40,000. All because I was trying to save people. And I'm not the savior. That wasn't my assignment. I ain't the Messiah. That was not my assignment. Trying to save folks from their own destruction, baby. Let them burn. Let them burn. Because our life is a combination of our choices and our decisions. So if we don't get ourselves together, our environment reflects that. Point blank, period. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. So let's get into this formula, because I know I've been telling y'all this 3-step formula, okay? So if you are in business and you don't want to lose no money like I did, not 40,000. Y'all don't lose 5 figures. I done told y'all I didn't make the mistake and lost 65. But that's in my span of business. So it's not like but it's in my span of business. That could have been a nice 65. Think about an extra $65,000. That could have been a property. I want property. That could have been a property. I'm like, how you lost that? Okay? So really think about those things. So here's the rhythm. So the first thing is this. Number 1, you have to get rooted. Okay? Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. You have to get rooted. Regulate yourself before you write it down. Okay? A lot of you can't focus because you won't get rooted before you try to execute something. You cannot make decisions, or you don't. I think it was Cash Doll that said it. You don't make moves while you in your feelings. You don't make business decisions and moves based on your feelings. She's correct. Not only is she correct in that area, but that also applies. You don't make emotional moves, period, because emotional moves are reactive moves. Emotional moves are reactive moves. And feminine women don't react. They respond. They respond in the appropriate time, or they don't respond at all. We are either silent or we are strategic with our responses. And in order to be strategic with your responses, you have to be rooted. You don't go into a meeting if you work 9 to 5 with HR crying and being emotional. What are you doing? You look extremely unstable and you look like the one that's causing the problem. You look cause I don't think women understand that when you reveal that you lack self-control, people see you. People see you. You have to get rooted. If you know you're about to go into the meeting of your life or something is about to happen, I don't care if you would take 5 minutes. Okay, we need to see you in HR in 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to go to the restroom real quick. Baby, you go to the restroom and you do whatever you need to do to get yourself together, but you don't get behind there and you start absolutely losing it because you have no control. You get rooted. You get rooted and you regulate before you start to even write it down and make it plain, whatever it is that you're going to be doing for the day. So that's number one. You have to get regulated because some of y'all rooted because some of y'all wake up with stuff on your mind. Then you just get online. You wake up and you just start working. You get up and you just start doing this. You're not becoming rooted and you're not getting regulated. Your energy is not regulated and the money is not attracted to you. True T. Money don't like exhausted women. And exhausted women don't get paid. They don't. They always have a cheap experience. Even if they are receiving money, they never really get paid for real. They're just accepting a very, very cheap experience. And I don't want that for you. So regulation is very important because like we talk about all the time, love and money sits on the same frequency. So if your energetics is I love myself, I prioritize myself, I invest in myself, I elevate myself, I do this, money's gonna be looking at you like, dang. Okay, alignment. Okay, high vibrational. Okay, value. I'm attracted. Much like a man. Ain't it don't y'all think it's funny that when you minding your business and you doing well and all this stuff is going and you decide that you're not dealing with nobody, then all of a sudden people just start coming your way? Why is that? You ever wondered? Energetics. You appear to be rooted. You appear to be planted. You appear to be unbothered. You don't seek attention. You're focused on yourself. You're a mystery. I want to know more about you. I crave you. What's up with you? Boom. Money is the same way. But it's all about positioning and presence. Same thing. Money is masculine. So if you pay attention to the masculine and core, you'll understand how money operates energetically. Okay? So the first thing that has to happen, again, like I said, you got to be rooted. The second thing is you have to reveal, meaning that you have to let your offers mirror your essence. You don't create things that don't align with you. You don't accept partnerships and brand things that don't align with you. Because those things are going to exhaust you to try to put on a performance for something that you don't participate in and you don't do. One of the things, I have TikTok Shop, right? But you won't see me promote anything from TikTok Shop that I don't have or I don't utilize. Because I'm not going to false promote because that's me wearing a mask. Wearing a mask for a long period of time causes you not to be able to breathe. Eventually, you're going to have to be exposed. I ain't got time for all that. I'm not even going to play that game. I'll expose myself. I don't want it. This is the only thing I want. This is what I use. This is what I do. Okay? So it's very important that whatever it is that you're offering, it needs to mirror your essence. The reason why I can teach women how to regulate their emotions, restore their power, lead, earn, and attract from energetic alignment is because I do it on a daily. I've done it. I'm not new to this work. I've been working in the area of self-mastery since my 30s. I'm 41, my early 30s. So these things are not new to me. So when you are creating an offer, you are creating something, it really needs to reflect your authentic essence because, and like the young lady said, it's always the best way to go. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these comments. And it is the best way to go because it's what you can keep up. Because the real you going to always show up. So why not just be real from the beginning? I try to tell people that in business and I try to tell people that in relationships. You might as well, all that, and the reason why I be like, the people pleaser, because if you could, the people pleaser in your family, you'll stop trying to people please when it comes down to men. You won't care. You just live your life and whoever is for you going to be attracted to you, going to want you, going to do that. All these rules and stuff. People who want you, they want you. People who want to deal with you, they want to deal with you. If they don't, they don't. Point blank period, the end. Point blank period, the end. They just don't. So everything you do needs to mirror your authentic essence. Everything you do, from the way you walk, from the way you dress, from the way you smell, from the way you talk, from the way you offer your services. All of these things should reflect your essence. Everything about me reflects my essence, from the way I wear my hair, from the way to the way I dress, to the way I pick colors. All of these things reflect my authentic essence. I don't put on anything that I don't feel comfortable with, that I cannot defend. None of that. Because you got to understand that, just like I talked about, food is a program, and it sends messages through the body. You are a walking messenger. You are sending a message. You are a walking temple. What message are you sending? What message are you sending with your temple? Okay? So that's the thing that you have to pay attention to. So the next aspect of that is to reveal. Don't do things that don't align with you. If you know talking about money and doing this ain't your thing, it's more so, it's not really a reflection of you, but talking about art and talking about music and talking about aesthetics and talking about beauty and putting all these things together is truly how you operate in your essence. Why are you not talking and making money from that? Unless it's a hobby, because I don't believe in making your hobbies paid. But if you know that it's something that you have, why are you not activating that? Why are you not revealing that? Why are you trying to teach money things because this is what this person said that you should be doing, when authentically, when you speak about this, you speak with such a high vibrational state that people will come in? A lot of people miss that. They really, really miss that. So again, the first part, so that you can detox from the fast money, to the recalibrate your business, to recalibrate your business for legacy, is again, number one, rooted. Regulate before you write. Regulate before you write. Regulate before you talk. Okay? Because the worst thing you could do as a business owner is get on here and show that you are emotionally unstable. Buy from you for what? Why would I be buying from you? It does not make any sense. You don't seem very steady. Okay? The third thing that's very important that supported me in detoxing from fast money to recalibrating my business for legacy was to refine. Okay, so we have root, we have get rooted, to reveal, and to refine. To refine means to move with spiritual clarity, not algorithmic anxiety. Okay, because a lot of us tend to worry about, how is this going to post if I do this and I stop doing and I do that. And I had kind of got caught up for a second in posting, not posting, posting, not posting, which is why last year I didn't do nowhere near as much posting as I did the year before. Because I started to find myself in a space like, I need to post more, because TikTok was changing and I was really quick about learning how the algorithm works. And I was like, I need to do this, I need to do that. And then I was like, stop. Because you don't need to do this. You need to move with alignment. Your track history and your track record has been, every time you put a piece of content out there that the Most High specifically said put out there, it's gone viral every single time. It's resulted in sales, new clients, new leads every single time. Why are you fighting against or having anxiety trying to beat an algorithm? What is an algorithm to the almighty algorithm? No comparison. No comparison at all. So if it's no comparison, right, then move in the clarity of understanding that there is no comparison. So there's no need for you to be anxious about any changes. I've been seeing a lot of people come on TikTok, ladies, talking about the algorithm is doing this, the algorithm is doing this, the algorithm is doing this, and, and TikTok is changing. And yes, all these things are changing, but this stuff is not new, y'all. When they create these apps that you don't own, after 3 years, they're going to start running it a certain kind of way, because the first 3 years are normally research based. So any app from ChatGPT, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all these things, for the first 3 years, if you see something come up, Threads, if you see something come up, you need to know, if you are in working it in the first 3 years, that's probably the best you're going to get from it as far as organic reach and getting your money quickly. Because after those 3 years, the fourth year, they're going to start implementing ads. Probably about the fifth year, they're really going to start streamlining more. Do you understand? We are more so in the fifth year of TikTok. See, they started putting things out about ads maybe like mid-2023. 2024 is when they started really putting those ads in there. Now you can't even get on here without the first thing popping up is what? An ad. Y'all not paying attention. See, I pay attention for a living. I pay attention for a living. So, and I'm really good at pattern recognition. All praise to the Most High. So I'm able to see how a lot of these formats operate, which is why I've been able to make money off of all of these platforms. I've been able to make money from, and I'm not talking about money from the creator fund. I'm not in the creator fund on TikTok. I'm on TikTok shop, but I'm not in the creator fund on TikTok. They don't, the only creator fund that pays me consistently, though I'm monetized on platforms, is YouTube. And that's because I feel that one just for like education and stuff wise. But the money that I've made offline, it has not come from the creator fund. It has come from me knowing how to utilize the algorithm, right? And knowing how to utilize these social media platforms so that I can put this out there and make sure that my client sees me because I'm present and I'm positioned properly. So that's the key thing. If you're going to be online, you want to move with spiritual clarity, because the key thing is positioning and presence. It's not about how many times you post. It's not about how many times you post. It is about positioning, and it is about presence. Because positioning and presence is going to tell people if you got the power for real. Yep. Positioning and presence is always going to tell how powerful you truly are, or how much power you actually are lacking. Okay? That's why it's very, very important to not get caught up in like, I need to be posting, I need to be doing this. No, you need to be in position. So the way that I corrected my $40,000 mistake was to make sure, number one, I was rooted before anything. Okay? I was rooted before anything. So I'm regulating before I write. I'm regulating before I speak. I'm regulating before I teach. I'm regulating before I'm interacting. I'm checking in with me, making sure that I have everything I need so that I am pouring from a full pitcher. I am pouring from a full pitcher. I'm not pouring from fumes. Okay? And most importantly, I'm giving myself first pour, because that's what's vital and that's what's important. Okay? So again, the 3-step rhythm map that keeps my nervous system together and safe to this day and keeps my bank account flowing the way it is being rooted, regulating before I write, revealing, making sure that my offers mirror my essence, meaning that it's authentic. I can show up every single day and talk about it. I can talk about what I teach in my sleep because I live it. First point. Well, what does that mean you live it? Number one, I used to be 100 pounds heavier. I told you, women that come to work with me, they get their health right. My client was just on my live, was it the other day? And she said, since being in your program and working with you, I lost 20 pounds. I was like, girl, what? And she just signed up to be in a Muse Activator again. She was in my other program. And in my first program, she lost 20 pounds. And she was like, what you do and the results I got from your program, the first go around was so phenomenal, I had to come back. So now she back again. So we done got, the confidence coming up, baby. She done got the weight down. Now we finna get to this money. Because that's what she focused on now. Now we're going to get to the money, because she's ready to focus on her business. She's ready to like get into that space. She's feeling really good. Now we're going to get to the money. Okay? So the thing is, when you really get clear on yourself and you start doing your work, things shift. I used to be 100 pounds heavier. I used to work 3 jobs. I had a bridal business. That was my makeup artistry business. I worked at MAC Cosmetics at the time, and I was working at the Department of Children's Services at the time. I was broke. Because, girl, how you got 3 jobs and ain't got no money? How? What's happening? What was happening was my energetics weren't right. What was happening was I was a female hustler. What was happening was I had the mindset that you rest when you dead. I was exhausted, and I was 100 pounds heavier then too. Going bald in this in my head because I was hormonally imbalanced, which brings me to the next thing. I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome when nobody was talking about it in 2004 when I was 20 years old in January. January 2004, hurt my little feelings, baby. And that lady said that. I said, what do you mean? I never heard of it. No one was ever talking about it. I was extremely confused. I just knew for years I had a regular cycle. I just thought that was normal because the doctor said that was normal. Until I had my spiritual awakening in my 30s. And after a 21-year issue of blood, which is crazy, a 21-year issue of blood with my irregular cycle, the Most High taught me in my spiritual awakening how to get myself together and heal. And in 6 months, my cycle has been coming back consistently. I'm 41. My cycle is like 4 days at max. 4. No cramps. No all over the place. No clot. None of that. Because I understand the body now. I understand that my womb was extremely stressed. I understand that I was working against my feminine design, and I literally start turning into a man. You notice the symptoms that end up coming with polycystic ovarian tend to turn you opposite from what you are. It's very interesting how the physical manifestations of things can let you know how much you are spiritually disconnected from your core. I was so disconnected from my feminine core and myself in general that I started to literally look like the man I was working like. Let's get into it. Okay? So not only was I dealing with that issue of blood, I was dealing with my issue. It's just in my health not being the best because I was hormonally imbalanced. I couldn't get my money right. But when I got myself right spiritually and got grounded, I began to learn how to take my thoughts captive, which allowed me to stop being an overthinker, which supported me in the process of being able to regulate my emotions and control my reactions. And then my life began to elevate and change. The money started coming to me. People was looking for me. I just began to start getting really magnetic. I started getting all this stuff, and I was like, wait, this is all it took for me to get right for myself? All I needed to do was really start focusing on myself and get myself together, and these things were going to come, yes. Because only the you that's willing to rise above can manage the things that you truly want. You're not going to be able to sustain things if you don't get a hold of yourself. So you really have to pay attention to how your offers need to mirror all of my offers mirror my essence. I've taught y'all how to cycle sync. I've taught women how to get their cycles back, heal hormonal acne. I've helped women heal their liver damage. I've helped women heal heart damage and a whole bunch of other stuff. Okay? Because I had to go through a process of healing physically. I supported women in being able to make more money. Y'all know my client Rocky was in here the other day. I asked Rocky, I said, so Rocky, how much money really have you made since we started kind of working together? Because I hadn't talked to her in a little minute. She said she was going to book another session in a minute because she was working on her automations. But Rocky said, ever since I started working with you, at first I was charging at $250. And she said, girl, she said every month after that, I've made anywhere between $8,200 and $9,500 a month. From making $250. From charging $250 for a service to getting basically almost 5 figures a month. And she said, I'm on track for my first 6-figure year. I had to stop taking work to put my systems in place to automate everything, but I'm on track to hit my 6-figure year. It's coming. Oh, I know. But how did I know how to be able to support her and help her in shifting that? Me understanding the energetics of finances and money. The reason why it tells you in scripture that the love of money is the root of all evil is because when you call yourself loving money so much, you will exhaust yourself for it. You will compromise yourself for it. You will alter yourself. You will shapeshift to be able to obtain it. But people who do those things are people who don't understand that they are money themselves. It tells you in Proverbs 8 and 12, you have creative and witty inventions in your very being. Broke is... Broke should not even be in your... If you say you're a believer, broke shouldn't even be in your mind. I don't even understand the term. It don't even make sense to me. Because it literally tells you in scripture that you have creative and witty inventions in your very being. Why are you worried about if this 9 to 5 closes down? And see, one thing about me, I was never scary. Before I even knew the Most High, I was never scary. I was never going to let no job talk to me crazy, treat me crazy. If I don't want to be up in here, guess what I'm going to do? Hit the door. That's one thing about me, baby. I ain't gonna let you mistreat me. I'm gonna hit the door. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these lights. I'm gonna hit the door. Because what I know is that I understand that I have value. And see, at the time, I felt like I got the gift of gab. So, baby, you ain't finna tell me now I'm finna get up here and tell these folks what I'm finna do. And I'm finna get the next one. And every single time I did that, I got it. You should not be messed up. If they... I'm talking about life could be so crazy. If you need to be having it so much faith and so much energy and so much strength to the fact that if you wake up tomorrow and all the banks crash and you look at your account and it's on zero, you ain't scared. Cause see, when you done been and you understand business and you done been at zero, you know all you can do is come up. So there's nothing for you to do. And there's no reason for you to be afraid or be scary. You're just going to come up. Thank you, my love, for these shares and these likes. You're just going to come up. When have you ever let yourself fall down? Hey, my love. When have you ever really let yourself fail? So why are you allowing external circumstances to play mind games on you? If you wake up in the morning and you see your bank account on zero, what skill set you got? Because see, one thing for sure, two things for certain, baby. The internet could shut down. They're like, well, what skill set you got? Because your business is online, baby. I know how to make soap. Your girl know how to sew. Your girl know how to do a whole bunch of stuff, babe. I got a list. I'm always have a bag on everything. I can bake the mess out of some bread. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. I'm going to always. Do you understand? And that should be your mindset. And if it's not, it's because you don't know yourself and you don't know your value and you don't know what's in you, and you need to figure that out ASAP. Because I'm going to tell you something. When you don't know your value, people use you up because they know your value. All these conversations about you don't know my worth, or I know my worth and you're not going to treat me like this. Let me tell you something. People who know their worth, they walk. They don't argue their case like attorneys. I'm not an attorney. I didn't want to go to law school because I didn't want to do all that reading. Okay? So I'm not going to argue with you about what it is. I'm just going to show you what it is. And again, like it tells you in scripture, you will know them by their fruit. So I'm telling you, don't blow experiences, don't blow money, don't blow opportunity, because you're trying to reach back and support people and help people who, truthfully, they don't even want to help themselves. They don't even want to help themselves. Every single woman who has come into a space to work with me has always said, like, okay, I finally stopped leaking power. Like, I finally understand, like, my boundaries. I'm finally, like, really focused. Women who come to work with me, they get results because the Muse Activated is not just another coaching container. It's not. It's a spiritual recalibration chamber for women who are literally ready to get in emotional integrity with their power. Y'all want to be powerful to be manipulative and wondering why your life turning out like that. You're not operating from a space of emotional integrity. That's real power. See, the real power, I saw a post, it was, I don't want to say her name wrong, but she's a beautiful woman. She always has head wraps on. Her hair is long. She always has, like, amazing cat eye. And I remember her posting a video, and she was basically saying how, people get really unsettled with the fact that you don't want to deal with them no more. Because what a lot of people, I'm going to tell you something about humans. Humans who operate in their lower nature, meaning they're not doing any work to rise above, that's your get back people. Those are your vengeful people. Those are your I got to get my lick back, all of that, because they're still operating at their lower nature. See, the thing, when you run into somebody like me, though, if you are operating in your lower nature, I'm not going to take personal that you operate in your lower nature. Everybody operates in their lower nature until they rise above it. But what I'm not going to do is participate in an experience with you, because you are operating in your lower nature. And people who are operating in their lower nature, when they do things to you, they have the expectation that, oh, it's going to be fine because you're just going to get them back. And they really be like, get me back. See, I'm the type, when you run across a woman like me and you do something to me, bye. May the force be with you. And 9 times out of 10, baby, I'm probably not even having the conversations. I'm a lady. So I like to exit silently and gracefully. Okay, I will gracefully exit your life with a block and all. I don't have a problem. Okay, so when you do something to me and people be like, "Well, no, do it back to me. Just give me back, so we could be even." Baby, never. I would never give you the satisfaction of thinking that I would stoop down to your level just to have to continue to interact with someone so low. I better not. See. I want not to know you. See, I'm that type. Once I pull the plug, ain't no going back so I can set you on fire, baby. You already flatlined to me. You already flatlined to me. Once you flatline, it's a wrap on that, Jack. So the thing is, people, a lot of times, they come into spaces and they are, they want to try to get you back. They want to try to do this. That's not emotional integrity. Sweetheart, I have emotional integrity. And most importantly, I believe in spiritual law. Whatever a man sows, ye shall reap. That can be a great thing for you or a bad thing for you. If you sow value, you reap value. If you sow chaos, you reap chaos. Law is always going to be honored. So I never need to get my lick back because the Most High gets my lick back. Or better yet, the universal algorithm gives you your lick back. Because that's what it was created to do. The Most High created the universe to be a large responder. What you put into it is what you are going to get back from it. Okay? And so a lot of women really don't realize the importance of emotional integrity until it's time to actually do something. So in this particular chamber, week by week. What we do specifically is that we detox from the whole idea of urgency, and we rebuild in rhythm. You get in sync with your menstrual cycle because you need to work with your body. One of the reasons why I struggle so terribly with the polycystic ovarian syndrome and stuff, because I did not understand the 4 phases of my cycle. I didn't understand there's certain things that you need to eat during the phases of your cycle. I didn't realize you're supposed to rest a certain kind of way. I didn't realize that your brain does certain things during the different phases of your cycle. I didn't understand if you didn't eat this because you're losing this, you're going to feel down. See, all of these things we're not taught. We're not taught these things, and we're sent out here and we're called emotional and hormonal and all these things, and it's because we lack internal balance. And stress is one of those things that literally throws you out of balance. And we live in a society that consistently wants you to be stressed and overwhelmed. Okay? And I need you to really pay attention to these things. So what we're doing in that experience is not hype. It's literally a holy recalibration, because a lot of you are still running off the programming of your childhood, and your nervous system is wrecked, which is why you think intensity and the up and down toxicity of relationships is love, and you think that, oh, this person is boring. It's because you're used to this. You're used to the drama. Your nervous system can't even recognize, hey, you're safe. It's like, where's the drama? Bring it out. And next thing you know, because there is no drama, here you are self-sabotaging the experience because you want drama. You need to create drama in order for it to feel real. Just like you feel like you need to work hard for the money instead of getting in alignment to catch it. The mindset is the math be mathing, because the mindsets match. Okay? How you do one thing is normally how you do all things, sweets. What we're doing in that space is breath work. There's boundary work, but more than that, there's a return for the women who come to work with me in the Muse Activator. There's a return to the posture of womanhood that doesn't have to hustle to be helpful. Doesn't have to hustle to be helpful. A lot of us have identified ourselves by what we do for other people. I'm good to people. Are you good to you? Don't piss me off. I'm so good to people. I don't know. Are you good to you? I'm so kind to people, I don't know why. Are you kind to you? I've never seen a consistent bully, a consistent victim, not be a bully first to themselves. Why is it that you stay in scenarios where you're consistently dishonored, disrespected, disregarded? What is that about in your nervous system and in the reprogramming of your subconscious mind that thinks that that is okay, that is normal, that is fine? And do you want to continue that? If not, let's rewire that. That is what we do. Every woman who has literally walked through this type of work, like I said, they've all said, I've stopped leaking power. I've become extremely focused. One of my clients, like I talked about earlier, she made it's more than quadruple her investment back. Not because she just sold out of everything, but because she stopped settling for crumbs. When you are in business and you learn to stop settling for crumbs and payments, you will stop learning to settle for breadcrumbs when you're dealing with these men. What's going on? Do you not understand the connection between you accepting low payments just to be able to get something is equivalent to you being able to accept, or you being willing to accept the extremely bare minimum that's not even meeting your basic? How you do one thing is how you do all things. If you holding on to clients that are draining you and that are stagnant and that are terrible, you holding on to family members and probably a man is doing the same thing. How we do one thing is normally how we do all of these things. We really need to pay attention to that. This community and this container that we have, it's not for the bargain hunter. So if you're looking for, girl, yeah, let me get in the cheap community. Nothing about me is cheap. Everything about me is an experience. Even working with me. So this isn't for the bargain hunter. This is for the builder. Okay? If you already know that what I've been saying and what I'm talking about is for you because you're too busy reaching back and your nervous system is really screaming for this recalibration, then this is for you. If you think you need to think about it, okay, it's not a no, it's just a trauma response. You've never probably been seeing this level of safety before, and what it looks like, it makes you nervous. And that's okay too. But I'm going to say 2. I have 2 more spots in the Muse Activator, and they're going to be for $9.97 before the price goes up. One of those spots I'm going to go offer to my former client. If she take it, which I feel like she going to take it because she been So she ends up taking it. That means it's only going to be one spot. And I told y'all I didn't sign 5 in the last 8 days. Those 2 spots are probably going to be filled. So if you want that and you want to be a part of this 6-week program, the first thing that's going to happen is you DM me the word Muse. I'm going to send you a link for payment. Once you make your payment, you're going to get your contract. Yes, you can get it with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. So there are payment plans. You're going to get your email that's going to confirm so that you can set up your one-on-one session, and then you're going to get your pre-work. When you get your pre-work, okay, your pre-work is going to be the spark of your recalibration, because the first week when we come in and we meet, what is going to happen, because we're meeting Tuesday, what is going to happen is that we're going to start it off with the nervous system recalibration up front. Because in order for you to walk into what I need you to walk into by week 6, that nervous system needs to be retrained. You will come into that space at one level, you will leave that space at another level and at a different level of womanhood. That is what I can guarantee you. If I can't guarantee you nothing else, you're going to leave in that space. And it is that woman who calls the money in. It is that woman that attracts what it is that she wants. It is that woman who knows how to lead, how to earn, and how to attract from energetic alignment, because she has restored her power, because she has regulated her emotions. And a woman who is in control of her emotional responses is the most powerful, baddest woman in the scene. Why do y'all think? And I'm not even a big fan of hers, but why do y'all think people are so obsessed with Beyonce? Honestly, I'm not even a big fan, but you know why people are so obsessed with her and what she got going and what she doing? Because she don't talk. Y'all notice that? She don't talk. And when you don't talk, and when you're not always accessible, and when you're not always available, and when you're not always present, people are drawn to you because you become a mystery. And then they become interested. And then they become attracted. And then they become obsessed. This is how we end up having these large cult followings with, you know what I'm saying, celebrities and stuff like that. It literally starts in that type of way. Prince had a very much so silent demeanor about himself. He was out loud in some instances, but he was very mysterious. People could not figure him out. Because how are you shooting a 3-pointer in heels with boots with heels on it is crazy to me. Had no idea this man played basketball the way he played basketball, baby. It's shots of him jumping in the air, hitting these shots, baby, with them nervous boots on. You don't know these people. It's the mystery that makes you so attractive. It's the mystery that people wanting to know you, and people are going to want to know who this new woman is. Because even when I was talking to my client this morning who lost the 20 pounds, she was like, she went over to someone's house and they was like, girl, you wearing that outfit? She saw her neighbor and they was like, oh my God, you looking good. She said, I'm only halfway to my goal. I'm going to make sure she lose that other 20 pounds too. Now, she ain't going to lose it in 6 weeks, but I'm going to get her tightened up so she going to lose some in that 6 weeks. She gonna hit her goal before this year out, because I think she wants to lose like 40 or 50 pounds. I'm gonna make sure she hits it. As long as she right with me, I'm gonna make sure she hit it. So the thing is, women who come to work with me, they master their emotions and they end up making more money, attracting better partners and friendships, and then they end up becoming healthier. So if that is the space that you are in and you are positioned and you are ready for that and you are prepared with your $9.97 investment, and I want to be very clear about this investment. Yes, you can use Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. You're not paying me, sweets. You're not banking on me. You're betting on yourself. Because one thing I can tell you is that the women that come to work with me who do invest and who are serious, they get amazing results. I done help women go from 5 figures to 6 figures. There are women who are still using my formulas and they are almost at $1 million. Not a joke, not a game. I've built up a 6-figure plus business from the ground up myself. Do not make the mistake like me by leaving $40,000 on the table because you are too busy trying to reach back for people who are not ready to jump. Okay? So if you are prepared to come into the the Muse Activator, which is going to activate your inner muse, okay? And why is that important? Is because I believe that all women are muses. I believe that all women are muses, and I believe wholeheartedly that by definition, a muse is a source of inspiration. A muse inspires, and a muse inspires investment. So if you want people to invest in you, and I'm just telling you the truth, you're going to have to become some form of an inspiration to where you inspire people to invest in you. And if you don't, they won't. This goes for clients. This goes for men. This goes for companies. This goes for businesses. People invest in value. People invest in value. So if you don't deem yourself, you don't see yourself as valuable, you won't be deemed as valuable. And therefore, people will not invest in you because they are not inspired to do so. So if someone is not investing in you, and hear me what I'm saying, because I'm telling you something without telling you something that you can apply to business and relationships. Okay? Listen to what I'm telling you. If you are not being invested in time, energy, attention, money, okay? But people always are wanting your presence or wanting stuff from you. You are not valued and they are not inspired enough by you to invest in you. And sometimes people are inspired to invest in you when you walk away. Don't believe me? Remember the last dude you was dealing with and you told him you got tired and you want to deal with him no more, and then as soon as you said you was done with him, guess what? He started doing every single thing that you've been asking him to do the entire time that you was dealing with him. But all of a sudden, because you're not dealing with him no more, all of a sudden because you're done, he got all the time in the world. All of a sudden because you're done, he got all the money in the world. All because all of a sudden you're done, he has everything ready for you that you have been asking for. So that's what I'm saying. Your leaving inspired him to invest. Now, it might be too late. But the reality is your action taking, the way that you move, the way that you are, requires investment. That is how you should be operating. I require investment. Ain't no working with me for free. Ain't no being with me for free. It costs. And I ain't just talking money. It costs. Accountability. That's high. That's bigger than money. Self-awareness. High. That's bigger than money. Authenticity. I know that you are who you say you are. High. That's bigger than money. Okay? So it cost to be in my space. Don't give yourself away for cheap. You weren't created cheaply. And a lot of you need to remember that. And if you've forgotten your way, you might need to go ahead and come up in the Muse Activated, sweetheart, because I got them last 2 spots. So DM me the word Muse if you're interested. If you want another option, you click the link in the bio. If you're wanting to elevate your wealth and you know you need to work on that, then you might want to get the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint. A couple of women have gotten that this week, and I've been hearing great reviews about that, where they're learning, how to retrain their nervous systems to make space and to be able to receive intimacy and income, because intimacy and income are connected. How you operate intimately is normally how what's going on with you and your finances. I always tell women, they crack jokes at me, but when I say it, they be like, you know what, you're right. If you can get a hold of yourself when it comes down to your meals, your money, and men, you didn't really did something with your life. But the root of that, getting a hold of those areas of your life that get out of control, is you being rooted and grounded in who you are. See, if you never lose the plot on you, nobody else could ever play with you, and you'll never lose the plot when it come down to your food, because you understand what your goals are. Let's get into it. So we ain't eating and everything every day, are we? No, we're not. Because we're in tune with what it is that we truly want, the vision body, the health that we want for ourselves. So we're not just willy-nillying with our meals. We're being cautious. We're being intentional, right? We're being intuitive with our eating, okay? So if we're thinking about this when it comes down to money, we're not being impulsive with our spending. We're not all over the place. We're being very intentional. We have an investor mindset when it comes down to spending. So when I invest in this dress, how is this dress going to get me a great return? Now, if you're going to invest in this dress and you put this dress on and you're going to an event where you're such a muse that you get invested in, win-win. Well, win is a win, baby. A win is a win. But you are investing into an outfit to go and wear around a bunch of people who can't help you get to the next level. And that's what you're worried about, being the flyest thing in the room. You got the game wrong. You got it real confused. See, when you have an investor mindset, everything that you're purchasing and that you're doing, it's a return on the investment. So just imagine if you take the mindset of having an investor into the area of men. Just imagine if you took the mindset to not be impulsive when it came down to men. Just imagine what decisions would be a lot better made in those scenarios if you had control of your emotions, if you were rooted in the truth of who you are. If you have control over your own energy, you can control yourself from overeating, over-functioning, and over-giving in relationships. Okay? Because that overeating with meals, that over-functioning when it comes down to your work, and that over-giving when it comes down to men is going to put you in an early demise. It's going to catch you up. And that is not what you want for yourself. So properly take care of your energy so that you can support in the areas that you need to, so that you're not losing money, so that you're not losing opportunity, and so that you're not losing out on experiences, all because you're trying to look back. Because last time, who was that? Who was that looked back? Lot wife. What is you looking back for? There is nothing behind you. There is nothing back there. The people who are behind you, they not coming. They either not coming or they slow right now. They'll catch up. But you need to keep your head tunnel vision, and you don't need to be swaying to the left or the right. So if you need community to come into that space because you're really ready to do your work, DM me the word Muse. I'm going to send you the payment link. You're going to get your contract. Once you get your contract signed, and then you're going to get your pre-work. And once you get your pre-work, you set up your one-on-one appointment with me. We're going to have our session. It's going to be powerful. And then we're going to start going straight into our group. And we're going to start getting that real work coming for the next 6 weeks. Okay? So DM me the word Muse if you're interested in that. The Magnetic Wealth Blueprint, like I said, that's in the bio. And then also there's Monetize Like a Muse if you are wanting to really, really scale and get yourself together. That's a great course. Last thing, I have feminine sales strategy sessions. If you have a business and you are not making 5 figures in your business, DM me the word Michelle, Muse, my love. Send it to me in a message. I promise I'm going to check it because I know it'll send you like kind of off, but I'm going to check them as soon as I get off here, okay? And also remember that the link expires, guys, in 2 hours. So you have to go in, complete all your stuff within 2 hours or the link is going to expire and you would have to ask me for another link, okay? The feminine sales strategy session. If you're not making at least 5 figures a month in your business, all right, I really recommend that you schedule a feminine sales strategy session with me. There are $297. You can get a recliner, firm, and afterpay as well. Those sessions are going to support you in being able to scale. Okay, my client, one of my clients, Kendra, I gave her a quiz that came in that I also use in another format, and she used that quiz that I gave her, the AI bot, to be able to support her in closing her first high ticket client in 2 weeks. Money is out here. You are not in the position to receive it. So I need you to come. If you have a business and you're not making at least 5 figures a month, I need you to come to me and we need to assess what's happening in your business so we can get you scaled to 5 figures a month, because you can do it, but it's going to require you to let go of the mindset that you need to reach back. I'm only going to have a couple of these sessions left. A lot of the women who have come to book these sessions already have been putting things in place where they have their 5 figure a month things set up. This is exactly what, and everything, all their offers, what I can say I love is, I think even Dr. Eli is still on here, but all of the offers, right, that come and that you get, they're all in alignment with your essence. So when you come to work with me and we're scaling you up, all of these things are things you authentically do. So there's no reason for you to leave me and have imposter syndrome. When you leave me, you should just be getting in position to show up. You should just be laying your structure down, getting yourself ready, and then showing up, because there's a way for you to be able to do it, okay? So it's so important that if you're not in that space of 5 figures, y'all, and then she said agreed, right? So if you're not in that space of 5 figures, get in a session, get that, and you can click the link in the bio to get that session. It's $297. I'm going to break down for you how you're going to start scaling up to 5 figures a month, and then from there, it's on you. Okay? Any questions before I get ready to get off here? Because I have to get off here because, child, I got to go to afternoon tea. So I need to change my clothes. So let me know what questions that you guys may have. I'm going to take a few of them before I get out of here. And if there aren't any, then I'm going to get on down. But make sure that you click the link in the bio. Let me see. Consider that. I've gotten so much clearer. I'm excited to get into the Muse Activator Zone. Yes. The Muse Activator is I'm just really excited. I was talking to a couple of them this morning, like I said, and I've been talking to them all week. And I'm just really excited. I can't wait till you come in there too, because it's a really good group. So I think that you would have an amazing time. And then when you come into the Muse Activator, I like to pair y'all up with accountability partners too, based on the strength, like how you guys can motivate each other too, based on the things that I understand about you. So it's great support. So I love. I love programs and communities and doing that. So super excited. I'm not clear. Technically not ready. Muse. Let me screenshot you so I can remember your name. Do me a favor and follow me, Michelle, if you're not following me. And what I'll do is I will, if you're not clear, let me ask you this before I say that. If you're not clear on what you need to do and what you want to do, then I would recommend for you the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint. Okay? I don't want to tell you. Here's the thing about me. I don't just fill up my program just because, like, oh, let me get the money for my program. I really want to make sure you're a match for that. Because I don't believe in people investing money in things that are not going to really be supportive to them. I'm not that at all. So if you're very unclear, kind of like, and not technically ready for the Muse Activator, the first thing that I would tell you would be the Magnetic Blueprint. And if you wanted to get a taste of working with me and to work on your money and like get your money up, then I would get Monetize Like a Muse. Monetize Like a Muse sounds like it might be your best bet, because it seems like you, based on what you're saying, it seems like you're wanting to work with me. So if you're wanting to work directly with me, your best bet is going to be either the Muse Activator or Monetize Like a Muse. Monetize Like a Muse is you get me for 2 weeks and we have Telegram coaching. So I'm consistently talking to you for 14 days. And we're having conversations, the things that you need to work through. I'm giving you insight on how to be able to work through that. And we're actually like talking on the regular, so you get more access to me. So if you're unsure, and you know you want to make money but you're not like super clear, Monetize Like a Muse is going to really, really help you. It's going to help you get rid of imposter syndrome. And what I like about Monetize Like a Muse is that's where I have my $10,000 bot. So I created a $10,000 bot that tells you how you can use your own skills and your own gifts that you have based on the answers that you give on my quiz, how you can scale and make between $10,000 and $100,000. It's going to tell you your pathway to be able to make from $10,000 your skill set that could put you in position for $10,000 to $100,000. Okay? That is what that course is going to do for you. And you get one-on-one with me. So I'm going to make sure you flesh it out. And then on top of that, you also get, the 2 weeks of coaching. So yeah. Oh yeah. Get Monetize Like a Muse, Michelle. You can get that with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. I want to say Monetize Like a Muse is four something. It might be $4.97. You can get it with Klarna, Affirm, Afterpay. I think it's $4.97. But you can get it with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. And if you come into that, and you're clear about what you want for your business, we'll be able to get you right. Because if you've been trying to launch, that means that you have some blocks. So if you're saying you're trying to launch for the last 5 years, we have blocks. Monetize Like a Muse is going to help you remove all those blocks. All of them. Because the blocks a lot of times are centered around feeling like you're not good enough, imposter syndrome. That's going to get rid of all of that. Because you need to see on paper what you do, much like how I made the comment and said, oh, tell me the 3 things that people come to you for, and the one you didn't realize was a superpower. You just haven't tapped into your superpower. Monetize Like a Muse is going to help you do that. Thank you for that, Faith. I do feel like her time is near. I feel like I've had a woman who wanted to start a business in 5 years, and I helped her get it together in 5 months. So, Michelle, I'm going to tell you like this. It's all about what you want to do. So if you come over here and tell me you got to go and you want to do it, I'm going to be on you so you can get it done, and I'm going to give you a clear pathway to get it done. So, most definitely, I think Monetize Like a Muse would be a great start for you. And if we get into Monetize Like a Muse, and this is what I also will do, if you come into, hey Rocky, if you come into Monetize Like a Muse and you decide, you know what, I'm enjoying this, I want to transition into the Muse Activator, I will take your $4.97 for the Monetize Like a Muse and transfer it over into the Muse Activator. If you do it within that time period, and then you just have to pay the balance at a later date. So that's an option as well. So if you get Monetize Like a Muse, you get me. If you get Monetize Like a Muse and you decide, I think I want to come into the Muse Activator because this is really helping me, we'll just transition you over. I had one of my clients who is coming in on this round right now. She actually transitioned from the Monetize Like a Muse into the Muse Activator. So yeah. So it's going to be great. So whatever you choose to do, do what is going to be in alignment for you. But I feel like those would be the best options. I would hate for you to come into the Muse Activator and not quite prepared. I would much prefer for you to go through the Monetize Like a Muse, get your structure and those things set up, have your confidence in those things together, and have access to me. And then if you're like, you know what, this is working, I like it, I want more, and it's like I want to transition. Cool, we transition you over. Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions or comments, guys? Before I get ready for afternoon tea, I'm so excited. I want to have afternoon tea with my friends. So yeah, it's going to be fun times. Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm not seeing any other questions. I'm going to let y'all go. Okay. I hope that y'all have an amazing weekend. Thank y'all again for being here on Feminine Fridays. Click the link in the bio to subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is going up on YouTube. Y'all, I hope y'all heard everything I said so y'all could not make the $40,000 mistake I did. Okay? Because they had me a little hot when I realized I left that 40K out there. Okay? So, hope y'all got what y'all needed. All praise to the Most High. Y'all have an amazing day. I'm going to check my DMs before I get ready to go for those who have DM me. So I'm really excited. Sounds like I need to do Monetize Like a Muse next. My self-thank is. Yeah, come on in. Come on in. Monetize Like a Muse is absolutely amazing. And then you can transition in. Okay? All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and get off here. I hope that y'all have an amazing, amazing weekend. Peace, y'all.